So, with you being the mayor, one of the questions I wanted to ask you was, Canton kind of has like a deep history with the industry all the way to football. Like, what issues and like are you tackling for the city's future?
Right now, I mean, we got a lot of irons in the fire right now. I mean, the biggest thing we're trying to tackle is trying to improve our neighborhoods right
Yeah,
now. We have identified the city just doesn't have the money or the resources to go after every neighborhood. And I can even expand that. If we want to replace everybody's sidewalk in the city of Canton, you're talking 40 to $50 million. That's
Phew.
not even feasible to do that. But it doesn't mean that we can't expand the programs that are available. I also got to be realistic that 47% of the houses in the city of Canton are owned by landlords.
yeah,
And all the programs that we previously had were all geared towards homeowners. So one thing that I campaigned on was, we truly need to do this one block at a time, but are we just going to do half the block because, half the houses in the city of Canton are owned by landlords? And don't get me wrong, we got some really good landlords and we got some really, really bad ones. When you think about code enforcement, the responsibility of code enforcement is to protect the residents from the bad landlord
right.
and the health department. I'm sure everybody's seen in the paper about the rat house, with all the, nobody deserves to live like that.
Right.
And all of us need to step up our game because the residents of the city are really counting on us. So what we did was we developed a plan and we identified 16 neighborhoods throughout the city. And it doesn't mean that list can't grow. And you want to be fair to all four quadrants of the city: northeast, southeast, northwest. And if the city only had money to do a couple neighborhoods per year, what neighborhoods would they be? Well, the consensus was the two neighborhoods that we're going to concentrate on are going to be Sherer Road, southeast,
Yes,
and Vassar Park.
Yeah,
Where the Kemp Thorns is, 15th Street between Cleveland and Market. When you think about Ridgewood's a really, really nice neighborhood in the city of Canton, but if Vassar Park tips in the wrong direction, is that going to affect
exactly.
Ridgewood? Absolutely it will. So we're going to go in there and we're going to try to do as much as we can. I mean, we're going to try to pour as many sidewalks. We're going to pave you think when we talk about, not to get off base, but we always get compared to Plain in North Canton when it comes to plowing, the amount of roads and stuff.
Yeah.
There's no comparison. I mean, Plain's got 200 miles of roads. We have about 1,100 in the city of Canton. So how many alleys are in the city of Canton? Miles, right?
Not alleys.
Our plan is, and it's doable, but we're going to pave every alley in the city in the first 4 years. How many people live on an alley and they've been forgotten about? But we're also going to step up our paving program in our neighborhoods, and that's not getting into all the other infrastructure projects that we got going on and stuff. We're also going to make a huge push for building housing in the city. Everybody talks about that, like that big Intel job down in Columbus and all the jobs it would bring. If Intel would build here, that we would have a major problem because where's everybody going to live at?
Right.
And we need housing, and it's looking at everything. I mean, we have a huge homeless population in the city of Canton. But if you're going to have housing for homeless, you have to have wraparound services that deal with mental health and addiction issues. What about low income, moderate income workforce? And it's a major challenge. I mean, somebody could be paying rent, for an apartment, paying them $1,100 a month when they could have a mortgage payment. So, we're looking to expand a lot of the programs that we have available.
So, how does your background as an iron worker shape your approach to being the mayor?
I'm more hands-on.
Yeah.
I never had a problem rolling up my sleeves and getting my hands dirty. And where I come from, I want it done, and I want it done yesterday. Well, that's just, when you talk about government, it just doesn't work that way.
Right.
They're talking that we got a huge project on West Tuss that's supposed to start next year with the roundabouts in front of Altman Hospital. There's been a lot of talk about that. That project right there is 8 years in the making, securing the funding from the state and federal level and stuff like that. I mean, these projects just take, and that's why it was so important. Immediately when I got in there, we set up a committee and had some meetings, regarding what's going to be the plan for the neighborhood, because this stuff can't wait 8 to 10 years down the line. I mean, it just, we got one chance to get this right.
Right.
I would see the city do like little projects around town and make minimal impact. We need to go in there when we go into Vassar Park and Sherer Road. We need to go in there and do as much as we possibly can.
Yeah.
And then we're going to move on to the next neighborhood.
So what steps like in your administration are you taking to create like more jobs and strengthen the local economy here in the city?
We're working with a lot of people. I mean, there's a lot of ways the city can help without cutting a check like
Right.
they did to the village. And a lot of the stuff that I'm dealing with right now is kind of like the hand I'm dealt with. I'm just trying to make sure that the city does get their money back with the Hercules project down on South Market and
Yes,
the
sir.
Hall of Fame. But there's a lot of things we can do. We can help by creating jobs. One of the challenges that we face in the city of Canton's kind of landlocked. But we have one thing that nobody else has around us. We have water. Now, I'm not saying we got water forever, but whoever found the largest underground water aquifer 18 miles south of here in Sugar Creek Township, and we pump that and we own the land and we own that water aquifer. You cannot have economic development without water and power.
Right.
It's very unfortunate that when I was growing up in this town, we were always known for the steel mills, the industrial base and stuff like that. But also, there's some good things that are happening. I mean, Hilscher Clark is one of the largest electrical contractors probably in the state of Ohio, and they're based in downtown Canton over on McKinley, about a block away. They want to keep their headquarters downtown, and these are high-paying jobs. They're engineers and everything else. But it's also, being able to, we're going to take an aggressive position on annexation because we need the land to grow. I'll give you an example so the Fisher Foods closed down. So you got one on Whipple and Tusk, and that one that's on Whipple and Tusk, catty corner from the old Canton Center Mall, that is actually Perry Township. You got
It's literally like a street, like a border.
literally. So Whipple Avenue would be the boundary line
Yep.
between the city of Canton and Perry Township. And when you talk about jobs, now, even though they're going to tear it down, they're going to build a Chick-fil-A there, right? We're taking the position that if you want our water, you're going to annex in, or you can dig a well. I mean, we're literally taking, and I'm not saying Chick-fil-A jobs are the answer or nothing like that. We need to have opportunities when we talk about our kids. We need to have opportunities for them while they're in school. But if we don't have opportunities for them when they're done, why would they want to stay here?